Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Weekly Ring. For Friday, February 9th, we're your hosts, Gloria Horton
and Kyra Pierce.
The Black History Media Festival started today. Be sure to come out to the GLC tonight for a panel and tomorrow for all the other festivities. So Kyra, I'm struggling with math and I was wondering if you can help me.
I can't, but I know someone who can.
Who?
Valisa. And I sat down with her on my new segment called Major Talk.
Really? On Major Talk, what would you talk about?
We'll talk about her love for her major, which is math.
Would you be able to talk about this with all of the majors?
I will. Every week I'll be talking with a different
student. Oh, okay. Well, let's check out this week's episode of Major Talk.
So being at Bennett, what is it about the math department that keeps you here?
Well, it's very, very small. Mm-hmm. Students from all over campus take math classes because, it's a big part of your gen ed. But, the upper level courses, a lot of times there's maybe 3 or 4 of us, which might be the case for a lot of majors. But it really it lets us be a really close-knit group. And it lets our professors have time to sort of, spend time with us, and it really helps out with them teaching us and having us over for their office hours and things. It's nice that we have a few people and that we're really close, but also we wouldn't mind having more math majors.
Of course. So you're a sophomore. Where do you see yourself after you graduate?
Well, I definitely want to go straight to graduate school. But, I understand that my plans are subject to change, but right now my plans are to go either into a master's degree program with a bridge to a PhD or straight into a PhD program. I'm currently very interested in topology, which I describe as geometry on steroids. And so I'm thinking that might be what I go into, but I'm still kind of exploring what bits of math I like the best. And I hope to one day be a research mathematician and also maybe teach at the collegiate level. Hi, Kyra. Welcome to Math Magics.
Hi. Well, thank you for having me.
So how have you been doing in your math work lately?
I've been doing a lot better.
I'm happy to hear that. So are you familiar with what a base number system is?
I am not.
Okay, well, the number system that we use is base 10, which means we go 0 through 9, and then at 10 we start repeating symbols. So 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. And then computers work in a binary system, which is where that happens just at 2. So it's 0, 1, and then 1, 0, 1, 1, etc. Now, the trick that I'm going to show you today works in base 3. So it goes from 0 to 2, and then it starts repeating symbols. So here's what's going to happen. I have 27 cards here, which is 3 to the power 3. And you're going to pick a card and show it to the camera, and I won't look.
Okay.
And then, do you have a favorite number between 1 and 27?
Yes.
All right, what is that number?
10.
Okay, 10. So, you're going to pick a card from here.
Okay.
All right, and throw it back in the pile.
Let me look at it one more time, just to be sure.
So, I'm going to shuffle this deck. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to deal these cards into 3 piles. And once I'm done dealing them, you're going to tell me which pile your card was in.
Okay.
And then hopefully at the end you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Okay, and then I'm going to do that again. By the way, do you love how I have these Harry Potter cards?
Yeah, they're cool.
They really fit with the magic theme, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Although, the weird thing about the Harry Potter world is that they stopped teaching the kids math. I mean, they don't teach it at Hogwarts at all, which is just madness to me. Yeah, so last time. So at the beginning you said the number 10?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's my number.
Great. I was expecting some more surprise, Kyra. That's why I was afraid I messed it up.
No, it's just my mind is blown. That's my number right there. That's so funny.
Well, like I said, this trick works in base 3, and at the beginning I mentioned there's 27 cards, which is 3 to the power 3, and I dealed it out into three piles 3 times, which plays into how that trick works, but it gets pretty long after that. So, as a magician never shows her tricks, but a mathematician always shows her work, there's a video linked in the description that has the explanation.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me show you my cards again.
Yeah.
And I hope I'll be able to surprise you again next week.
I hope so too.
Do you like to write?
Actually, I do.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh.
Well, if you do, Ben U Magazine is back.
Oh, when are they taking submissions?
Now.
Can I submit poetry?
You sure can.
What about fiction? Nonfiction?
Yep.
Photography?
Yes.
Oh, check your email for more information on how you can submit to Ben U Magazine. Now, we're going to join Reverend McLean with McLean's Minutes.
Welcome to McLean's Minutes. We're glad that you had the opportunity to join us. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hill from which cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. That's the first verse of Psalm 121, a song that the Israelites might have sung on their way to worship. The road and the journey was very difficult. It was through mountains, it was rocky, and the only thing that they could rely on was God's presence. Such is the life of faith. We may not know where we are going, but be well assured God always knows the path that He leads us. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to travel to Jamaica and to climb a portion of Dunn's River Falls, which is absolutely beautiful, emptying out into the sea and a white sand beach. As we climbed, there were guides and guards who kind of led us on our way. And they led us in the direction which was onward and upward, if you will. As we climbed, a young woman turned to me and said, "Now you be careful." And on any other day, I might have been offended, but that day I took it as her prayer for me because it was also exciting, exhilarating, and it was the most nerve-wracking thing I've done in a long time. But such is the life of faith. We step out, we not knowing exactly where we are going, but knowing that God does have a plan for us. So as we climb, the rocks were slippery. There was really nothing to hold on to because the wall was covered with slime, which means you could not get a grip. Some people held hands along the way to provide support, and the guide came forward and backward, leading us on the way. One guide came my way, and I was just about to ask him, "What do I do if I've changed my mind?" And I was more frightened at the thought of turning back than going forward. Such is the life of faith. Even though we know not where the next step is going to land, it is easier to go against the grain than to go with the flow. By going against the grain, I was making progress. But to go with the flow meant going backward, falling all the way back down to the beach, and very possibly taking others with me or injuring them. So I decided to go as far as my courage would take me, watching the guide and listening to his direction, and things worked out as they were supposed to. At one point, because we could not see exactly where we were going, the man in front of me said, "Be careful with your next step," and I took that as a sign of a guide as well, because at that point the water was about at my knee, and when I took the next step, it was up to my waist. Such is the life of faith. We don't know where that step is going to land, but we know that with God, it will land in the right place. So we can put our trust in God, knowing that He orders our steps in every situation. And even those mistakes that we make, God can use as powerful testimonies and learning tools for us to grow. God is our help. He orders our steps. Just a thought.
Do you need some money for school?
I sure do.
Oh, I'm certain you have all the money you need.
No.
But for those who don't, please be sure to check your email for information on scholarships and internships. Several Bennett students had the chance to attend the International Civil Rights Museum Gala. Destiny Collins was there on hand and got a chance to interview some leaders in the civil rights movement. Let's see some highlights from that event.
Did you know it was going to be such a big impact years later?
Well, I don't think you ever know that, because these were 18-year-old young men and students who were 17, 18 years old, even some of the high school students here. So no, I don't think you ever know that. But all you want to do is, while you do your work and what you do, you want to make sure that you do what your heart tells you to do is the right thing to do. And then to look back and see this impact. I was the first African-American woman elected to the Greensboro School Board. I'm the first African-American woman to represent the 12th Congressional District. Hopefully we'll be able to look back many years later and see some of the impact that we've made. So.
From 1960s to now, how much has changed so far to you?
Well, public accommodations have changed, which means that you're no longer publicly humiliated. Can't use a library, can't use a restaurant, can't use a toilet, can't drink water. That's just barbarism. We won that battle. You can travel from here to Wilmington, to Washington, to Memphis, to back, and use any hotel, motel. Like that has changed. The right to vote. Mm-hmm. Now the resistance to our movement is very intense now, but at least we have a weapon with which to fight. When we use that weapon, we win. And that's the value. That's the lesson in Alabama and Virginia, because we once could only hope to win. Now we can vote to win. If we do that in big numbers, we will win.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Weekly Wing. We hope to see you all this weekend at all of our festivities. We're upping our game up on social media, so be sure to follow us on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram.
That's really messed up that Ebony doesn't let you ring the bell.
I know, she's very selfish.
She is.
But we can ring it together this week.
Oh,
Okay, you ready?